Hello everybody, it is Jeremy. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. This is our Path of the Damned Herald run. We have just obtained Maya and Pelagina, and we've got the next story quest, which we're gonna ignore for 10 plus hours. So yay. First stop is Level-Land. So let's save to make sure we don't fuck this up. And let's level. So we got mechanics. We've got, which by the way, I don't think. Right. Anyways, so we've got mechanics, we've got diplomacy. And we've got one ability for Chanter or Paladin. And I have almost no idea what it is that we want to do. I did not do the research that I said I was going to. My bad. So probably gonna have to be Paladin, isn't it? Probably gonna have to be something like, because we already took Retribution, so it's probably gonna either have to be Divine Purpose, which gives us some good resistances, or it's gonna need to be something like Inspired Defenses, which gives us armor against what we've been hit by. So, Divine Purpose is pretty good tank-wise. I think it's better overall than Inspired Defenses. And I really don't think we care about it. I'm like, one-handed style could be good. I think one-handed style still stacks with weapon and shield style. Actually, no, I don't think it does. Fine. Yeah, I think we're stuck with one of these two. Or we could pick up another weapon set, but I just don't think that really matters right now. So, we do not want Inspiring Triumph. Inspiring Triumph is not bad, but it's good on like a two-handed palette. Like, it'll be good on Pelagina. Because Pelagina will be focused on DPSing and getting kills. It's not going to be good on me. So, do something like, we'll just do Divine Purpose. Okay, nice. Next up, Adair gets Athletics, gets Survival, great. What are we looking for? I wish the highlight was a little bolder, like a little more bright, like popped some. So we've got Dirty Fighting. We do have two weapon style. Okay, great. So we've got two weapon style. We've got Dirty Fighting. So probably next up is going to be Blinding Strike, because Blinding is pretty damn, debilitating. And then we have things like, either Gouging Strike or Confounding Blind. Both are good, but either one is going to be pretty damn nice. Also, Blinding Strike is probably going to be a good idea. What are our other alternatives? Into the Fray, I don't think is something that we care about. Lower their guard could be good. But, oh, confident aim. That could also be pretty good. 30% of grazes converts to hits. So making sure that the majority of our hits hit and our hits or our grazes hit and our hits crit is a pretty big deal. I don't know that that is more important than something like Blinding Strike, though. Boy, boy! Blinding Strike's definitely better than Crippling Strike. Fuck. Blinded for 15 seconds. Let's go for a Blinding Strike for now. I know Blinding Strike is good, so... I mean, I know most of the shit is good, but... You know how it is. Religion, Alchemy... Great. Shodi. We do want to get Shodi out of Spiritual Weapon. So, in theory, Shodi would have another spell. She'd have Iconic Projection. And probably something like... Fit for 60 seconds. Or Resolute for 15 seconds in an AoE. I feel like Resolute's probably better there. So she'd have one of those two. Maybe Repulsive Seal, because that could be useful in certain, like, setting up trap type situations. But either way, I think she would be done. Priest, which means you would need to take something over here. Increased stride is not actually bad. But I don't know that it's what we want. More likely, we would want one of these two, I guess, eventually. What do we got? I don't like Force of Anguish very much. Lightning Strikes or Swift Fury are good. Clarity of Agony is... able to cleanse their body. That's not a bad idea. Reducing the duration of incoming and existing hostile effects. And we can do that and gain Smart. For 20 seconds. Also not bad. I feel like Dance of Death might be the best pickup here. I don't know that we want to go Dance of Death indefinitely, though. I think Stunning Blow is probably the better use for Mortification in the long run. Shit. Yeah, I think we go Dance of Death. I don't think Dance of Death is going to be super useful immediately, but I think in the long run, Dance of Death is going to be useful.
How may I help?
Aloth, Arcana, History, great. He's got Confident Aim, that's good. We actually want 2 weapon style on him. Wizard-wise, is there anything else that we really care about? We got Merciless Gaze, and then we get whatever he gets from his fucking grimoire, which we don't really care about. So I would say no. I would say we just grab 2 weapon style. Okay. Good boy. Okay, let's talk to Maya first.
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Do you? Maya folds her arms and clicks her tongue against the roof of her mouth. Say nothing.
You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew?
She chuckles to herself, but there's a note of resignation to it. Shodi lifts her chin in interest.
My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here.
Hoo hoo hoo! Shots fired.
I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice.
She opens her palms and shrugs. Well, at least you're upfront about spying on me.
Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right?
Shodi flicks her sickle back and forth, agitated. Does not enjoy skullduggery.
The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment.
What if my actions damage the Royal Deadfire Company?
This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses.
Maya wipes a line of black powder from her cheek.
Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way.
Okay. I forgot how off the foot we start with Maya. As long as you're keen on taking orders, I don't object to having you aboard.
Uncomplicated. Just the way I like it.
Aloth nods, a quiet smile etched across his lips. We're dutiful.
Guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks.
She nods towards the colorful bird of prey hopping around her ankles.
Ishi, come.
Maya taps her arm with 2 fingers and clicks her tongue again.
That's a good-looking bird.
Fucking Adair. Adair raises one hand and waggles his index finger.
Hey, birdie. Hey, birdie.
Ishiza shows no sign of recognition towards Maya or Adair. Ishiza simply claws at the ground and investigates some bugs a few graceful hops away. I will coo at Ishiza. Makes soft, welcoming sounds to Ishiza, who turns and regards you with rapt attention.
Careful. I've seen him peck out eyes for less.
Uh-oh. Adair nods at Ishiza, who bobs his head in response. Adair nods twice, and the large bird replies with 2 head bobs. Adair begins tilting his head up and down, and Ishiza follows it with vigorous, full-body bobs. Encouraged, Adair starts bouncing his own body up and down, at which point Ishiza stops bouncing and watches Adair with a cockeyed curiosity.
Did your friend suffer a head wound?
Maya frowns at Adair.
Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question.
Maya clears her throat into her fist.
You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made.
Aloth tenses fingers and smiles. Dutiful. I'm figuring out as I go, but yes.
A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it?
I'd get ahead of the problem and compromise with the crew.
Sort it out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place.
Kill the
I
lot of
just
them.
wanted to hear yours.
Awfully specific question.
Stranger things have happened at sea. Believe me.
Yeah, that of course. Chody's eyes gleam with the dark amusement.
But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain.
Maya takes your arm and gives it a good pump. Had some questions.
I've got some answers.
All right! I forgot about this. You're one of Kana's siblings, aren't you?
Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together.
Yeah, funny, huh?
Kana came back from the Deerwood with a head full of ideas about Rauatai's expansion. Getting out from under the academics suited him. I never knew he could be so political. More than his sister ever could be. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it.
I did my best to help Kana find the meaning he sought.
You kept him alive in any case, while he wandered the lands in search of stories.
Maya huffs, shaking her head.
I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there.
Maya tips her head and studies you to make sure the point came across. Tell me about your family.
Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots.
Maya exhales and glances away.
After they immigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious.
Maya obviously does not. Island Amawa aren't that different from coastal Amawa.
You're telling me.
Jeez.
Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better.
Both are equal pursuits, Maya. Jeez, calm it down. How did you and Ishiza first get acquainted?
I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds.
Maya kneels and strokes under Ishiza's beak.
Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since.
Nice. Hello, Ishiza. Who's a good bird? The bird cocks his head, his eyes reflecting a mixture of friendly recognition and murderous calculation.
Uh-oh. That's his I'm hungry and you're wasting my time face. Better step back, Captain.
Let's be off. Alright, awesome. So we've got Maya. Okay, might as well just make her the stealth person. She already comes with quite a bit of stealth. Let's go. Wait, weren't we already doing stealth on shit? Fuck it, we'll still go with stealth anyways, whatever. We'll figure it out. We might have to, like, swap things around. Bluff seems decent enough. I'll make, like, a document eventually and be like, you get this, you get that. Alright, so what do we start with? We start with Wounding Shot, of course we do, and we start with Crippling Strike, of course we do. Which we did not. I wish we could pick what we started with. That would be really nice. Marked Prey is better in my opinion than Wounding Shot. Deals 20% weapon damage per 3 seconds over 6 seconds. I don't think we care about... this is going to be harsh. I don't think we care about Ishiza. Ishiza's just here. Truthfully. At least for now. Like, later on, Ishiza, it might be useful, but at the moment, we don't care about kitting out the burb. So, really, it's just Marked Prey is the only one of interest to start with. I don't think we care about it. We will probably want to pick up Escape eventually. We don't really care about Backstab. I guess we could start fights. You have to be within 2 meters of the target, so... Yeah. I kind of feel like we just pick up Escape. Or Marked Prey. An accuracy bonus. Transfers on kill. Marked for the Hunt is the good version. So you can... Yeah. The mark will jump to a nearby enemy. Area of effect, foe target plus 10. The area of effect is how far it can jump, so. We'll just pick up Marked Prey now. Not really much else that we should care about at the moment. And I guess we just take Escape. Again, I could pick something up for Ishiza, but Escape is going to be useful for getting getting people off of Maya, basically. Or getting away from people so that she can reposition for a fight. Okay, now we get some actual options here. So, Takedown is potentially interesting, but again, I don't think we are going to go anything especially focused on the burb. Probably just take Marksman. It's just base. Or Gunner. Do we want to take her as... Yeah, we probably actually want her to do guns rather than, like, bows and things like that, right? In theory. So probably Gunner is going to be our best bet here. Marksman is good, but Gunner is better if we're doing bows or crossbows or firearms. We'll take that, and then... Dirty Fighting. Probably going to be the best one. 10% of hits converted to crits. Does two-handed style count for rifles and things like that? I would assume that it does, actually. But I'm not sure. Take that. And we basically just want to pick up every... we want to pick up all of the firearm options, I think. We'll probably end up getting our blasts and crossbows, but to start with, we want to get... Okay. Level 5... I think basically our options are Blinding Strike and Two-Handed Style. That seems right. So Stalker's Link is good. So that might be one scenario, is going ahead and taking that so that we can get Stalker's Link. Right now, it's just going to mean that the burb dies a bunch. Realistically. Alternatively, we can just take Marksman. Invisible. We could, again, but we have to be in range. Let's just go blinding. Boop, boop, boop. And at that point, I think we've already taken blinding. We've already taken, gunner. It's basically two-handed style or marksman, and I would probably say two-handed style. Okay. A lot of those are probably going to change in the long run, but because she has aimed shots, so that's very high accuracy. She's already got 42 accuracy. With aimed shots, she's hitting like 60. Nothing really to like super worry about there. What does Maya have? She only comes with one unique, and that is her chest piece, the sharpshooter's garb. It is fine, and it has -20 reload time with arbalest, arquebus, and crossbow attacks. This is the traditional uniform of the Rauatai Naval Infantry, an elite force of sharpshooters tasked with protecting Rauataian ships from boarding parties and enemy gunners. While it offers adequate protection, the armor's true purpose is to allow the wearer sufficient flexibility while navigating a ship's rigging. Maya declined to adorn the uniform with insignia or symbols of her rank, as such trappings often reveal the presence of officers to enemy marksmen. So she can... so it has gunnery, and you can put low profile on it so that it basically decreases, because it's like, you know, anti-ranged, right? Yeah. And you can get return fire, convert 15% of ranged weapon hits to crits for 6 seconds after missed by ranged weapon attack. So if you get missed with, this is very specific, if you get missed with a ranged weapon attack, 15% of your ranged weapons hits will be converted to crits. Or you can get steel threaded, which just gives you +1 armor for slash and crush. It's pretty good. Sweet.
Speak freely.
Alright, we've got some interesting stuff. Not really gonna worry about setting up a script for her just yet. Cause it's been like 28 minutes and we haven't really played the game yet.
Problem,
so
Captain. I'm listening.
Let's play some game.
Your coming is a favorable omen already.
The prince nods and crosses his arms, a self-satisfied smile on his lips. Mystic, scholar, religion. Okay. We'll just be honest. I'm just happy to be alive.
Such modesty, I say. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies.
Arihi chuckles to himself and nods. Bow, honored to meet you.
Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this.
Paddle around the island being beat around the bush. That's a great correlation there.
You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked.
I could use some extra coin to outfit the Defiant.
Ikera, to patch a hull or stitch a sail is costly when supplies come from distant islands. The city has honest work for those in need, I say, and insists that everyone carry a heavy purse.
What kind of loyal service did you have in mind?
My sister keeps a tight grip on the kataka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet.
He opens his hand for emphasis and wipes it across his shoulder.
Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Raparu for their silence. Take this if you need proof.
He tosses you a silver medallion inscribed with Valian honorifics. We have gained the Envoy's Badge. This medallion once graced the neck of a Valian dignitary and was assumed lost after a terrible shipwreck. How it ended up in the back streets of Nekataka is a question that Prince Aruihi once answered. History. A Valian Envoy medallion. The Republics reward these for exemplary services. A clever option.
Akira, you are sharper than my guards for knowing this, I say. An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Nekataka. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Nekataka has a pirate problem.
Aruihi's upper lip curls with distaste.
Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city.
His gaze rises to meet yours, cold and calculating. To what end?
It will depend on what you find, I say.
Aruihi folds his arms and scrutinizes the floor between his feet, deep in thought. Ooh, because we have Streetwise. He's telling the truth, but there's something more to it all the same, and he doesn't trust his face not to betray it.
Onikaza leaves this for me to handle. While she worries about the manor, I tidy up the basement.
Now tell me what you're holding back.
I say nothing gets past you. Is there any question why I want you for the job?
Aruihi chuckles to himself.
If we dealt only in pirates, then I would put a trusted agent in rags and send him down hiding in a food wagon. But Akira, I have reason to suspect our problem goes deeper than we know. For this, I want an expert. When you travel down the mountain, seek Takehu in Pariki's overlook. He is a godlike, one who the people look to for hope.
Prince thumbs his chin and smiles.
Ingati's chosen knows of our troubles. He could also use a lesson in Raparu modesty.
Ah. Ingati's chosen.
Takehu was touched by the goddess Ingati at birth. He is as much a creature of the sea as he is Hawana.
Oana.
We are left to interpret what the goddess intends by sending him among us.
It never hurts to have a local guide. I'll go find Takehu.
Akira, if I know Takehu, he is stirring tempers in the Water Shapers Guild. Be on your guard in the gullet. I fear the caverns run deeper than even Ngati could guess.
The prince dismisses you with a nod. Jay!
Captain,
Sweet.
just say the word.
For what do you seek the royal brother?
Questions about you and the Huana.
Akira,
Hey.
both topics I know well.
Aruihi smiles and inclines his head. How does the caste system work in Nekataka?
It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe.
Aruihi pauses and frowns to himself.
I'm not the first to say it, but Nekataka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nekataka tests our traditions, I say.
Don't you see this as a contradiction?
What man or woman of the Isles does not?
Aruihi chuckles and shakes his head. So it's a entire culture that understands that the caste system is weird and odd and not necessarily great, but they don't really know what to do about it.
Our ancestors built this place.
Yeah.
We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell.
Absolutely.
It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit.
Aruihi shrugs, squinting up at the court's high ceiling. You and Onikaza represent the Kahanga tribe.
Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others.
We just took out the ship that killed Woods and my original small ships. The Xerax will pay. Long live the Xerax! The Xerax will reign! Sorry, Jake.
I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks.
What did we miss here in the caste system?
It is the same in the city as I'm not the first. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around.
You speak like the city is unaware, or you speak like the city is aware.
You speak as if it is not.
Aruihi raises his brow.
Our ancestors built this place. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit.
You don't seem to think much of the trading companies.
My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice.
He sheepishly scratches the back of his head. I love how self-aware Prince Aruihi is. Like, he is very aware of who and what he is and what his flaws are. Like, he's done this dance before.
But Ikera, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Ooh, anti-religious. Shodi flicks her sickle back and forth, agitated.
Quite so, Maya.
I think Aruihi has a thing for Maya. What do you think of your sister's rule?
We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Juana, our burden to appease the gods.
Aruihi clears his throat and cranes his neck to tell if anyone is eavesdropping.
In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes.
Very nice, Aruihi. Like, he comes off as, like, he even, he says I was, born for the arena, not the court. But that's that mindset, right? That right there, that'll get you far in the court. Aruihi inclines his head to Maya. She frowns and glances over her shoulder. Farewell. All right, cool.
Not a problem,
Cool.
Captain.
What's this?
Indeed.
Mechanism controls the store is unclear. The plate does not budge under your fingers. Talking about my bird? Don't be looking at my bird. All right. What's this? Good stuff. Granis Ygir. Is this a bounty hunter guy? You meet a tall, brown-haired man dressed in full-plate mail. This might not normally catch your eye, but his mail is unusual, colored a deep green and emblazoned with the image of a golden tree. Hand on the pommel of his sword, he watches the crowd go by with keen eyes, relaxed, yet fully alert. He narrows his eyes when he spots you.
What do you need of me?
He looks at you warily, as if he is deciding whether you are a snake that might bite.
Well?
Tell me about yourself. He is initially hesitant, unsure of your intent. Eyes narrowed, he sizes you up, then nods. Interesting armor that you have there.
I suppose it is. Are you familiar with the shield bearers of St. Elka? We are a paladin order.
Bruh. Yeah. I'm of the order myself.
My brother! I am glad to see a friendly face in this sun-scorched
Hey.
archipelago. I trust you came here on honest work? Well, I needn't hear the details. You asked about me, after all.
He clears his throat dramatically.
I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really.
Can you teach me what you learned as a member of the Shield Bearers? Ooh, enhanced survival and athletics for 3,000 copper. He clasps his hand and nods, beaming with pride. So this is a skill booster.
As you like.
So we'll just need to remember for 3,000 gold, we can come boost ourselves. Boost.
Hello, Watcher. Clearly, you are an interesting man to know.
Maybe.
You should speak with Governor Alvari in our headquarters down the mountain in Queensberth.
Fucking Governor Alvari.
Speak
But
freely.
you're probably right. I should probably do that. There's the Shrine of Helia over there. Let's go up to the upper floor of Kahanga. We'll do like a down. If that's possible. I don't know that that's actually possible. We will explore all of the places, though. All of them!
Just say the word.
Berathi pays court
This
to
guy
find the Great
is
Eel.
definitely a... Whoa.
Of course.
Hello.
I'll try my best. There you go.
Potion of Iron Skin. Potion of the Focused Mind. Nice. Potion of Resilient Body. And Fungal Bile. Applies this poison on the next weapon attack. Got some Koiki. Got some antidote and sugar. Got a scepter, a fine robe.
What did you...
Secretos. Scroll of Major Healing, heck yeah. Scroll of Revive the Fallen, heck yeah. Alright, what do we got? What is her perception? Her perception is 17, so we want her to basically be our big perception. More than likely. Although we're gonna want someone. This is why I normally always have someone who has high perception. And it is killing me inside that I do have that currently. Okay, so we got Nekataka, Children of the Dawn Stars, Port Maje, Valiant Trading Company, all of our peoples. Okay. She is not pro Juana. She is negative to animal cruelty. I don't think there's anyone who's going to be positive to animal cruelty. You know? Anyways, sorry, I got distracted.
Orders?
Let's go.
Just say the word.
Alright, so yeah, this guy is
He
definitely...
smells one touched by the great eel, does Berathi.
He's a bounty hunter. A sizable Amawa tilts his head up and looks down his nose at you, flaring his nostrils with hungry interest.
You are a man who sits across a fire with death. Akira?
The Pallid Knight and I are on familiar terms. He nods, clasping his hands with quiet delight.
For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Berathi can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira? Rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Berathi's cause. May the beasts of the Dreaming Lands never know famine.
Berathi inclines his head and touches his brow, holding the pose with deep reverence. What bounties do you have available?
Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a valiant captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands.
Berathi squeezes his knuckles until they're bone white. I'll take the bounty.
Akira. Tangaloa knew it would be so. Dichila sails her Voyager Alisio around the waters south of Nikitaka. The great eel hungers for her soul.
Nice. Very well. We're probably actually going to do some bounty hunting.
Need a guild if you hope to learn discipline.
Not so. We speak in the tongue of Ngati and Amira. Your pretty dances may upset the puddle, but we command the wind and sky.
Hey, I have missed our little talks.
Akira.
Okay. Stormspeaker's warning. My prince, I have warned Kamauka against calling rain over the outsider forts, but still she delights in rusting their weapons and muddying their soil, which tells me that someone must have put her up to this trickery, someone she trusts. She admires you, my prince, but I say that she is a storm you cannot control. Onekaza will not thank you for prodding the eel's den. You have given enough faith to Trickster and Gotti. Now take Amira's example and await the hatching of the egg. The turbulent skies speak of change and upheaval. I say let them come, but save your strength for the day the skies open up. I have recommended that Kamauka? I don't know. Seek you out. There's a place for her in the fleet if you find yourself in need of Amira's sharpened beak. For the Isles, Stormspeaker Baldur. Some swordfish, some vegetables, some white unicorn.
Happily.
Ooh, a fine battle axe. Oh, an exceptional large shield. Cool. We might actually use that, I could be told. And a Juana Guard Brigandine. Might actually use that as well. Storm Toxin, Juana Colors.
Of course.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at this. We've got weapons. So that's definitely better with what we're using. Boom. The fine battle axe is probably not something to care about. I would rather 2 scepters than a scepter and a wand. We've got not a sorting option, unfortunately. I wish I could sort by armor rating. I think this base 9 is the highest we can right now. Our armor, oh, we've got the plate armor, and that's crush and shock versus pierce and corrode. Oh, whatever. CP. Ooh, no. We're gonna play a little bit of Fashion Souls there, and we are going to wear the thing that looks better. Ooh, hard to pass. Oh, we got guard helm. That's not gonna matter for anything. Okay, I think we're good elsewise.
You were saying? Aye, aye.
Sweet. Okay, so we will go up to the Konghanga Palace rooftop to see Queen Onekaza. Not that I think you can do anything up here yet. I don't remember anything. We will drop down into the Serpent's Crown. There's people to talk to down there. Okay.
You make a habit of turning up uninvited.
The Queen has affected a far more relaxed posture. A pair of tigers lounge indolently beside her seat.
Kahopa, Tangaloa, welcome, our guest.
She nods down to the cats. They fix you with attentive stares that cause many of the courtiers in attendance to gasp.
Watch out. When these things lick, well, I hope for your sake you're not ticklish.
You travel with a brave crew, Watcher.
Onekaza smiles up at Adair. Good Kahopa. Good Tangaloa.
Nothing to fear, I say. If a queen cannot wrangle 2 cats, what right has she to the Deadfire?
She drags a hand over both of their massive heads. They lean into the gesture.
There are many leagues between here and Hasongo. I trust you have packed for the journey?
She raises a quizzical brow. I just wanted to look around.
Then look. Take in every delight, within reason. But do not waste my time.
Yeah, I'm gonna waste a lot of time on Onekaza. I just want you to know that. She dismisses you with a casual wave, but you catch a trace of amusement in the gesture.
The boldness of foreigners.
She shakes her head and strokes the nape of the tiger's neck. Nice! I like her attitude, generally speaking. Motes of light dart through the winding streams of water like schools of fish. What the water shapers can do is pretty fucking I do kind of feel for that that missive of the storm speakers versus the water shapers, but the water shapers got some
What
cool
all do you write in
shit.
those reports of yours, Maya?
Ooh.
Did you detail the Watcher? What
About me?
I may have told the company one or two choice details about you.
For real? You thought me worth noting in your politic papers? Maybe I'll make my temple proud yet.
So you're flattered. Interesting. Guess I'll add that to the next report.
Fucking shit.
Indeed.
Prissy? What's Prissy got going on? Prissy has plus 15% healing done. That's pretty cool.
I'm listening. You were saying?
Actually, pretty cool. This is another trainer, if I'm remembering correctly. You find a young man with long blonde hair drawn back in a simple club. His clothes are spare, but well-tailored, and his armor, a fine brigandine in blue and silver, is polished to a shine. He leans casually to one side, a clean hand on his hip, and sighs, bored. His eyes light up when he sees you.
Hello there. Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise.
All right, Sam.
Yes?
Tell me about yourself.
Gladly, my friend. Gladly. And how kind of you to ask.
He clears his throat with a theatrical wave of his hand.
I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What's not to like about that?
That's fair. What are you doing in the Deadfire, then?
What else brings faraway travelers to the archipelago? Adventure. I've nursed a great love for heroic tales since my boyhood. As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am. And though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map. So I've taken to charting the interior wilderness of the Deadfire's larger islands.
Sounds dangerous in its own right.
Ah, but it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your journeys?
Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper?
Enhance History and Arcana. Here you go.
Well, I'll be here if...
Okay, cool. So now we know where to do that. Sweet. Bodie boy. Alright, we will do the lower west side of the palace. And then we're gonna bounce and we're gonna go hunt some pirates. Gonna go hunt some pirates. Yeah, Odie boy? Is that how it is? Is that how it is? Someone finished off a quick meal here. The rise of cipher rangas. We are collecting books but not reading them at the moment. I might do like a big read all the books scenario. I might not. I love reading lore, but just reading so many books in places. The problem with a lot of books like this is you find them in places like this, but you find them one after another. Like you'll walk into somebody's library and it's like, oh, it's a library. Here are 15 books. Then I gotta read 15 books back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You know? Anyways. The cartographer bites his thumbnail and mutters to himself. Okay, so nothing to do right now. Gatti has blessed you. Sweet! Okay, let's go hunt somebody. Let's go hunt somebody. Let's go hunt somebody and have our Khalik scripts do absolutely nothing of what we wanted them to do. I say that, but really what we're going to do is we're going to head to each of the places. I think.
You're right. He does do that with his hands.
Fine, 'tis roughing his precious spelling book that scares the lad. Or maybe 'tis notching his wee finger.
You gotta stop. My sides hurt. Oh, I miss this.
Surely you've spied how he's always brushing himself. He won't say, but he's afeard of seagull shit.
Matt Mercer laughing at Matt Mercer mocking Matt Mercer is one of the funniest things in existence. Like, honestly. Like, I love that Matt Mercer. I loved in the first one that Matt Mercer did Adair and Aloth. And there's a reason why, by the way, I do that shit where I'm like, Aloth. Because people say his fucking name differently over and over and over again throughout the first and second game. Ooh! As you ready your ship, a cloaked figure mounts the gangplank and roughly forces a burned book into your hands. They turn and depart without a word. Read! The Burned Book of Law. The binding of this tome reeks of smoke. What few pages remain are crinkled and black. Based on the few chapter headers that survived the fire damage, this might have been a book of antiquated laws. Now it's nothing more than a charred relic of authority. Open the book.
You crack the spine of the old book, revealing blackened pages of dense, illegible text. The words recede into the shadows the longer you focus on them.
Still see.
Suddenly, the page widens to eclipse the world around you. A dark void stretches out on all sides. The air full of choking fumes that carry dying embers and curling flakes of ash.
Call out. Hello, is anyone there?
Something stirs in the darkness. An old woman steps
Fucking
forward,
Wodika.
leering down at you from on high. Her smile is toothy and cruel. Her cheeks warp around it like melted candle wax.
I would rather Mogren.
I'm so glad that my messenger tracked you down. These days it's impossible to find good help.
Wodika?
Watcher, before you draw your weapon, know that these proceedings are under a banner of peace. If this was a trap, it would have already closed around you.
Did Wodika legitimately just be like, yo, before you start swinging, calm down? You're a god, lady. You think I'm legit just gonna start swinging?
While Berath whispers in one ear and Aethys shouts in the other, I thought you could use a more seasoned perspective to drown out the noise.
Yeah, I don't like your perspective though. You're kind of a rude, mass murdering, manipulative bitch. Was the ruse with the book really necessary?
For the moment, you are Berath's creature. There are rules against my direct intervention, but nothing says you cannot willingly seek my counsel. Andra and Helia toe the line of acceptable conduct from time to time, but I am nothing if not adherent to our oldest laws.
I'm intrigued. Let's talk.
Don't you find it unusual how open and accessible my siblings have made themselves? After millennia of subdued whispers, now they practically scream their intentions. And isn't it strange how we never bicker unless a mortal is watching?
Is it? You tell me.
I would never deny that our pantheon is emotional, willful, and prone to overreaction. But we didn't get this far arguing over minutiae. If we still possessed our glorious titans, my siblings and I would have put an end to Aethys and his rampage by now. While we are powerless to stop him, some of my kin wish to observe how mortals respond to this threat. They think it will shine a light on the value of our patronage.
It might.
Have we raised you well enough to be self-sufficient? Or must we return to Eora and impose some corrective measures?
And if we prove ourselves, what then?
What indeed? That would depend on which of us you ask. A cross-section of society has converged on the Deadfire. Some of my kin are of an opinion that we are meant to judge mortals on the basis of their performance, while the rest of us have already made up our minds on the matter.
The rest of us, meaning you. So why do I feel like you're trying to convince me of something?
Judge for yourself. But I think you'll find my intentions are more straightforward than you think. When we ascended to godhood, we did so to provide for a savage people. Our goal was to craft a society whose values were made to last.
You ascended to godhood at the height of a never before witnessed crazy civilization that was incredibly powerful enough to make gods. What are you talking about? To provide for a savage people?
Perhaps even a society that had no need of us. A naive fallacy, but one that inspired my optimistic, misguided kin. How you and your allies counter this threat will demonstrate whether you are competent enough to guide your own destinies, or if we need to revise our strategy. The soft-hearted among us are counting on you to win this existential wager. No doubt, Aethys shares their sympathies. I do not.
I hit my volume button.
We exist to rule over mortals. Nothing can change that. So now you know the truth. I assume you have questions.
Why did you choose to confide in me?
Whether knowingly or unintentionally, you seem to find yourself on the vanguard of change. Mortals like you come but once in a lifetime. Some would react poorly if I stripped mortals of their freedom without giving them a chance to plead their case. You have the honor of standing tall as their advocate. Before I return to Eora and assume my position as your deserving tyrant, you have this opportunity to prove me wrong. To demonstrate whether or not mortals are responsible enough to claim their future.
You speak as if we don't have a chance.
You speak as if you do.
Yeah.
Mortals have precious little time to decide for themselves. Will they stand together as one, or swallow their pride and bend the knee? I have every confidence that you will disappoint us. Once my position is upheld, the undecided among the gods will embrace my plan.
The gods think my actions can prove their point about mortal society.
Prove it or disprove it, yes. I never agreed to this arrangement, but if your example demonstrates mortal ineptitude, as I trust it will, then I can make the plan serve me. An assertive minority of gods believe that your choices will prove the value of their wild optimism. As if mortal collaboration and ingenuity are endorsements of our leadership. Then there are those of us who know better, who are not so easily convinced. Kith are vulnerable, unless they submit to the destiny we chart for them. Thinking otherwise can only breed dissent and chaos.
Tell me about this enlightened society you once wanted.
It was an ambitious plan, our utopia. Perhaps too ambitious. We ascended to power, responding to a need inadequately satisfied. Assuming these roles gave us the authority to mold Eora over time, to influence you and lay the groundwork for a society yet to come. On the outset of the plan, some believed that mortals would outgrow us, As if that was a favorable outcome. To me, our eternal pantheon was always a critical fixture.
Of course. Fucking
Aethys was one of those
bitch.
who supported mortals, while I have always been their most vocal critic.
I hate you, Wodika. You suck. How would you have even recognized that ideal society?
A valid, self-defeating question, and one which I posed often. We assumed that they, whoever they were, would reveal themselves to us. Rational government would rule in our stead, leaving churches vacant. Thanks to Aethys, we're pulling the dough from the oven before it's had a chance to fully rise. You unfortunate bastards never had the chance to prove me wrong.
Why do the other gods tolerate your opposition?
Opposition can take many forms. If a church embraces and weaponizes my doctrine, that is very different from me rampaging as a titan. Aethys is not known for subtlety. Twice now, he has contaminated the purity of our experiment, and done so with extravagant displays that undermine our authority.
Andra dropped a moon on Aora. What do you call that?
Impulsive. I am the counterpoint to the soft-hearted. It makes no difference if mortals pass some arbitrary test. My mind is settled on the matter. Regardless of my feelings, the timing of this crisis forces us to accelerate our schedule. Final judgment comes sooner than any of us would prefer.
What happens if someone proves you wrong?
If our pantheon found that mortals had cultivated a perfect, lawful system to maturity, I would not voice a word in protest. I would merely stand aside and await the inevitable collapse. Mortals need us. I know this as well as I know myself. Even a lawful and responsible society would be poised to collapse as long as its architects and strongest adherents were mortal.
Fuck you,
Any
Wodika.
satisfaction that my siblings derived from their little experiment would be short-lived, and it would fall to me to clean up after their mess.
The mess in this case being mortal freedom.
Freedom is an unachievable illusion, heralded by the soft of heart. Only those who can find satisfaction in captivity are truly free.
Hard pass.
Make no mistake, Watcher. In this, I cannot be proven wrong.
To yourself. You can't be proven wrong to yourself because you're unwilling to see any other side except for what you believe. Doesn't the social engineering plan seem counterintuitive?
You mean gods crafting a godless world? Naturally. My siblings desired to influence mortals and steer them in a proper direction, even if that direction led to places we could not follow. I have no intention of being left behind. Society would unravel without its queen to impose strict order.
Back to my other questions.
You've learned much already. Only ask if you are ready for the truth.
Has your opinion of mortals changed at all?
Nothing you've done has tarnished it utterly beyond repair. You may congratulate yourself.
I want to talk about the wheel and your rise to godhood.
The wheel is our shared responsibility, and each of us serves it in our own fashion. I am the axle upon which the gods balance their power. Aethys keeps the wheel in motion. He was our promise to mortals that time and labor would yield a deserving reward on the next turning of the cycle.
How did the Igwithans become gods?
At the height of our power, we recognized the potential of the soul. We knew that it could be bound, split apart, diverted like a river, and hammered together. Hammering was trivial. Those of us who agreed with the Apotheosis Project, and many who did not, submitted to a violent and horrible erasure of our individuality. After the dust settled, we adopted the forms of beings from Aeora's most prevalent myths. There were other faiths and legends, but we labored to strike their names from history.
How exactly does the wheel function?
Much of reincarnation's mechanism exists in the idea space of the beyond. You wouldn't find a wall of cogs and levers unless we conjured one to illustrate a point. The wheel has but one material component in all of Aora. Something we built to channel essence through luminous Adra and into the beyond with reliable continuity. Before we intervened, the flow of essence was directionless, unpredictable. We succeeded in widening the gap, diverting it, giving it an efficient path to follow.
Reincarnation existed before you, so why not just leave it alone?
Before we took control of the wheel, reincarnation was error-prone, lacking forward momentum. Hollowborn were fairly common, and hardly the worst of the soul maladies. Control gave us the power to strengthen the souls of intelligent kith over generations. We made you wiser, stronger, more likely to develop the society we thought you deserved. Every turning of the cycle demonstrated the righteousness of my belief. Nature begets chaos, and discipline begets perfection.
Back to my other questions.
Watcher. It isn't every day that I open myself to these communions, so spend your breath wisely.
We'll speak again.
Yes, I think we will. This is not the end of our discussion. You know how to find your way back to this place.
Wotica nods stiffly. You feel her presence drift as a breeze, rustling as it goes.
That was unexpected. I completely forgot that that was a thing that exists, but that was fun. It did, however, eat up the end of this episode, so no hunting pirates for now. That is going to be the end of this video. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed, and I promise we will fight some things next time. Bye, everybody.